The rain was pouring so hard that night it felt like the entire city was trying to wash away its secrets. I was driving through empty streets after another exhausting day at work when I saw a young woman sitting alone on the sidewalk, her expensive dress soaked, her hands shaking, and her eyes filled with a pain that didn't look like it came from alcohol alone. I almost drove past her. I had my own problems, my own broken dreams, and a life that was already difficult enough. But something inside me made me stop. And that one decision would change my entire life. I didn't know that the girl I was about to help was the daughter of the man who could decide my future. I didn't know that one act of kindness would reveal secrets, heal old wounds, and teach me that sometimes the people who look like they have everything are the ones silently fighting the biggest battles. Before we begin this emotional journey, if you believe kindness can change someone's life and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel Echoes of Hope. Your support helps us share more stories like this. My name is Kieran Vale, and at 29 years old, I was a junior employee at a powerful company where everyone knew my name but almost nobody cared about my struggles. I worked long hours, stayed late, and gave everything I had because I was trying to build a better life. I grew up watching my mother work 2 jobs just to keep us alive after my father left. She always told me that a person's character was measured by what they did when nobody was watching. Those words stayed with me. At work, I wasn't the most talented person in the room, and I wasn't the most connected. I was just someone who believed that honesty and effort mattered. But sometimes, the world doesn't reward people immediately. My boss, Adrian Wexler, was a man everyone respected and feared. He was the founder of the company, a brilliant businessman who built an empire from nothing. People said he was cold, impossible to impress, and that he only cared about results. I had only spoken to him a few times. Every conversation felt like an interview. His eyes always seemed to look right through people, as if he was searching for their weaknesses. That night, after finishing a late project, I was driving home when I noticed the girl near a closed cafe. She was sitting beside a streetlight, holding her shoes in her hands. Her hair was messy from the rain, and tears mixed with the water on her face. I parked my car and walked toward her carefully. "Are you okay?" I asked. She looked up and gave a small laugh that sounded more like a cry. "Does it look like I'm okay?" she said. I didn't know what to say. She looked like someone who had everything money could buy, but her voice carried a loneliness I recognized. "I can call someone for you," I offered. She shook her head immediately. "No. I don't want anyone to know where I am." I noticed she was struggling to stand. She had clearly drunk too much and wasn't in a condition to drive. "I'm not trying to interfere with your life," I said gently. "But you shouldn't be alone right now. Let me take you home." For a moment, she stared at me like she was trying to understand why a stranger would care. Then she nodded. During the drive, she barely spoke. The city lights passed over her face, showing a sadness that made her look much younger than she probably was. Finally, she whispered, "Do you ever feel like people only see what they want to see?" I glanced at her through the mirror. "All the time." She looked surprised. "You?" I smiled sadly. "Yeah. People think a person's life is easy because they don't see the battles happening behind closed doors." She stayed quiet after that. When we reached her house, I froze. It was a mansion. The kind of place I had only seen in magazines. The gates opened automatically, and security rushed out. The moment they saw her, their faces changed. "Miss Ilara." My heart stopped. Ilara. I knew that name. The daughter of Adrian Wexler. My boss's daughter. The next morning, I walked into the office feeling like the entire world had shifted. I had spent the night helping the person connected to the one man who could either destroy my career or change it forever. I wondered if Adrian would think I was trying to get close to his family. I worried that my simple act of kindness would be misunderstood. By lunchtime, I was called into his office. Adrian stood by the window, looking over the city. For several seconds, he didn't speak. Then he said, "You drove my daughter home." It wasn't a question. I nodded. I didn't know who she was. He turned around. "That's exactly why I called you." His expression wasn't angry. It was something else. Pain. I've had employees spend years trying to impress me. They bring gifts, they tell me what they think I want to hear. But you helped my daughter without knowing her name. I stayed silent. Adrian looked down. My daughter has been struggling for a long time. Those words shocked me. The man everyone thought was emotionless suddenly looked like a father who was tired of watching his child suffer. She lost her mother 2 years ago, he continued. After that, she changed. She stopped trusting people. She stopped believing anyone cared about her without wanting something in return. I remembered Alara's words from the car. People only see what they want to see. I understood then. She wasn't drunk because she wanted to party, Adrian said quietly. She was trying to escape the pain. For the first time, I saw the person behind the powerful businessman. A father who had money, success, and everything except the one thing he wanted most. His daughter's happiness. Days passed, and somehow Alara and I became friends. Not because of her father's position, and not because of the world we came from being different. We became friends because we both understood what it felt like to hide pain. She told me about feeling invisible in a house full of luxury. I told her about my mother, my struggles, and my fear of never becoming someone worth being proud of. Slowly, she started changing. She laughed more. She went outside more. She began working on her own dreams instead of living under the shadow of her father's success. But not everyone was happy. Some people at work started whispering. They said I was using my connection to Alara. They said I had found an easy way to get ahead. The rumors hurt because they attacked the one thing I valued most, my intentions. I considered quitting. Maybe they were right. Maybe I didn't belong in that world. But then something unexpected happened. Adrian called me. I heard what people are saying, he said. I prepared myself. I'm sorry, I replied. I never wanted any misunderstanding. He interrupted. Kieran, you're the first person in years who helped my daughter without asking what she could give you. His voice softened. Don't let people who don't know your heart decide who you are. Those words stayed with me. Months later, Adrian offered me a major position in the company. At first, I thought it was because of Alara. I almost refused. But he explained. I'm giving you this opportunity because I watched how you treated someone who couldn't help your career. That is the kind of person I want leading others. I accepted. Not because I wanted power. Because I finally understood that kindness wasn't weakness. It was strength. 1 year after that rainy night, I was standing outside the same cafe where I first found Alara. The city was bright, and the rain had stopped. Alara walked beside me, smiling. Funny, she said. If you had kept driving that night, everything would be different. I looked at the street where our story began. I almost did. She smiled. But you didn't. And she was right. Sometimes the smallest choices become the biggest turning points. A few minutes of kindness can become someone's reason to keep going. A simple decision to help a stranger can heal wounds you never knew existed. Before we finish this story, I have one special request for you. Write a comment sharing what kindness means to you, because your words might inspire someone else who is going through a difficult time. If this story touched your heart, please engage with this video by liking, sharing, and subscribing to Echoes of Hope. Your support helps these emotional stories reach more people who need a reminder that compassion still exists. Because sometimes, the person you stop to help on a dark night might be the person who changes your life forever.